First semifinal, LawLiet versus Sock. I'm, of course, joined by a man who wears many hats. Earlier, you said you were a priest to Mr. Rima Demo. Now you are, of course, the tallest French jester, smiling on the outside and crying on the inside like every human player.
Like every jester that plays human, indeed. Yeah, Sock, he
Maybe
played
not
really well.
Maybe not crying too much.
Yeah, he played really well that series against Xlord. It was inspiring stuff, but now he goes up against a player that he struggled a lot against historically, and in this tournament, was it the most one-sided series we've got so far? Probably, definitely like very high up there. Like it was not close at all. On last Refuge, LawLiet barely lost any units, and Sock gets a chance to try and redeem himself here.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to jump right into game number 1 to see what LawLiet has in store for Sock. Here we are, map number 1, last Refuge. And in the upper right, a race car driver, a human player. Or in the bottom left, why not? We do have everyone's favorite player. It is LawLiet.
A player's forces are under attack.
And of course, now the race car driver that everyone loves. Make some noise. It is Sock. All right, so last Refuge, human versus Night Elf. ToD, what do you think we have in store here?
Well, the last time they played, we already had a keeper being used, and Sock tried to expo, and he just ended up losing a lot of units. That tower cancel, I think everybody that watched that series remembers it. So that's something that perhaps shouldn't have happened. We get a ring on both sides, so things are still equal with the item drops. But curious if Sock's going to try and make any adjustment from perhaps playing differently to the last time. Remember, he skipped mercenaries as well against keeper. Like maybe it feels like you don't need them as much as, say, if you were facing something like a Beastmaster, but they can come in really handy if you were to grab them. The problem is figuring out the right time. If you get them before you creep the expo, then the expo is really delayed. If you get them after, it's kind of hard. It's already nighttime usually. So we'll see. It looks like he might just go for the expo immediately. Pretty much like last time here in a few moments. These two players historically, oh no, he goes for the Mercap, so big adjustment. I thought he might do this as well for the Forest Troll Shadow Priest. They've played 75 series against one another lifetime. That's a lot. What do you think the record is?
Definitely favoring LawLiet, I would say. 75, maybe 70% win rate for LawLiet.
Very close, actually. 79% win rate in series, 59 series to 16.
Jesus.
So yeah, he wins 4 series out of 5 usually.
Yeah. And LawLiet has already showed that in this tournament, why he is so dominant. He has plenty of different strategies as well. Of course, known for his Warden play against human. We have yet to see that, at least on last Refuge.
Oh my god, he teched.
Oh, wow.
Sock teched.
Wait, okay, so what are we seeing here? Is this a tier 2 all-in? What strategy could Sock possibly be going into?
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to be playing with tier 2, and I'm not sure whether he wants to tower rush or play like some sort of rifle caster, creeping with a second hero. Would he play mount tanking? LawLiet shook his head just now a little bit after picking up Devotion. Not sure why. I mean, Sock's the one that's been getting the worst items for sure because of that belt. It's basically completely useless.
Ooh, that Ancient War, luckily, the Abolish was ready for the Water Elemental. That Ancient War is going to prove to be quite important if there is some sort of tier 2 all-in. So Sock wisely putting some pressure on it right now. Also wisely has his mercenaries that he can deal with the Entangle with now with that Troll Shadow Priest. The Archer's being pressured. The Footman equally so being pressured. The Ancient War is now healed up. The Keeper, though, level 3 could certainly find some kills if that Priest ever falls.
Oh my god. Well, there's not much damage nearby. Actually, well, can he save that? Yeah, with the Priest. He's pacing with his Abolish, like he's saving them, because if you abolish both Treants, then you get entangled and you lose the Berserker. So he's being extremely patient. You see him not abolishing those 2 Treants immediately here, because you have a limited amount of them.
All right, so tier 2 almost now done for Sock. Of course, going to be finishing for LawLiet around the same time. Hunter's Halt going to be finishing on time. And then we're going to see the tech of Sock. I didn't even see if we saw a blacksmith yet. We certainly haven't seen a rifle in production. He's, in fact, still building footmen. Is he going for 2 Sanctum, or have I missed something?
Yeah, it seems like it might be something. Maybe he wants to expo, maybe he wants to tower rush. You know, I talked about it. It's usually when you go for something like that, but then what second hero would he go for? A Tinker?
Tinker second. Is this
there it
the
is.
build? Oh.
Ay.
A lot of people have been talking about this strategy at this tournament so far. I believe even me and you talked about it once.
It just started defense as well, but the Archmage taking a lot of damage. If he could steal some mercenaries as well from the peasants, they were headed for the main base on their own. Now they got a Tinker with them. LawLiet might just TP out.
Yeah.
He starts Tree of Eternity, so I don't think he's reading into this very well, because I don't think he needs tech. He just needs a lot of units. Maybe even more mercenaries, but there were still the 2 creeps, right, at the camp.
Right, yeah.
So he cannot buy mercenaries.
They would
oh my
get
god.
snared, yeah. And
this might be key. Like, it didn't seem like it was much at the time, but this might be key, blocking those mercenaries being bought.
when the lore's coming up could be canceled. Of course, the peasants going to power build the towers, and then importantly so, these peasants can repair the pocket factory for free. So it's going to be very difficult to get rid of any of those clockwork goblins. The peasants going to go to the front, could even build maybe a lumber mill block. Of course, the Naga can pressure that Archmage. You mentioned the damage earlier. Ancient War coming in that did not die is going to be a godsend for LawLiet. He's certainly got to cancel these, but he has plenty of piercing damage to do so.
He's not canceling Tree of Eternity here. He's still letting that go through. Maybe he wants to start pumping out a couple bears here.
Yeah.
And then eventually make it to Bearmaster. So skip on Dryads entirely against Footmen. The problem is that Water Elementals are going to be extremely annoying to deal with. Miss Rally from Sock on his barracks. He now has defense, but he needs those two Footmen with his army here to push through.
Nice town portal. I like that from LawLiet. He's going to get back to the Moonwells. Ancient Protectors coming up in the back, and the lores were not canceled. 3 Footmen. Okay, they're going to make their way to the fight now, but the towers have already been canceled. Maybe the damage is already done from that miss rally. LawLiet is such a master of holding in his base as well, especially once he gets that orb, which is going to be sooner rather than later at this point.
Let's see if any of the towers can finish in time here. The factory not being targeted very well here. Maybe needs to snipe that way quicker with all the ranged units. Ancient of War now slapping away at whatever's close by. Naga actually, is it trapped? No, yeah. Just to pull back a little bit.
Yeah, Priest still healing up that Tinker. The Tinker almost has another pocket factory where there's about half the duration on the current pocket factory. The towers just can't get up. The AP is in range. There's the first bear for Roar, and LawLiet really hasn't even lost a unit yet. This strategy, I heard it was good throughout the weekend, but LawLiet is proving everyone wrong right now. This looks very underwhelming.
Sock starts the blacksmith. What? He's already thinking about some sort of transition.
Maybe a workshop close by, mortar teams.
Well, you need the towers first.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you got to at least get one arcade tower first. He's blocking the way, though, with the Footmen.
He's thinking way too far ahead if he's thinking about Mortars right now. I think if he was to transition to units, he might as well double Sanctum here to try and come back. Yeah, he goes for 1 Sanctum now back at home. I think he's starting to realize this push most likely won't work. And Druid of the Clawmaster training about to finish in 8 seconds. This looks like a solid hold for LawLiet, who will send Sock packing back home.
Super clean. We could be seeing the quickest game of the day. Now the Tinker, if Sock does fight to live another day, if he backs up, he could always go Cluster Rockets. You're a 4v4 player. You play Tinker quite often. You know that it's pretty strong, but he does have
the best spell in the game.
Cluster Rockets?
Yeah.
AoE stun, AoE damage, low mana.
What else do you need?
Good.
Nothing. I guess Brilliance to help out have infinite amount.
That always does help as well. Maybe a Blood Mage, maybe a Paladin, something like that. Keeper, no mana for the Entangle. That Priest actually has had plenty of mana all game. That's nicely done from Sock, but he's now transitioning into the latest one-base rifle caster army I've ever seen in my entire life, but the bears are already out.
He's starting to go into rifle caster. There's already 2 bears out, 2 more about to come out, and remember, these are the bears that come out with double rejuve available, so you can keep everything super healthy. Much better pace for the creeping for LawLiet for now as well. He has yet to buy his first orb.
Yeah, he could buy even a second one very soon too. He could even go into Tri-Hero at this point. LawLiet, it seems like this is one of those games where he could just do whatever he wants as long as he keeps up and creeping, as long as he doesn't allow Sock too much space here. He could really do what he wants. He could go into Chimeras. He's getting Wellspring, an essential upgrade right now, because level 2 Tinker with Pocket Factory not gonna do much in the way of a fight.
Yeah, I think he's just going to pump out a ton of bears and then start pushing here at 50 supply in a second.
And what are you supposed to do here? Entangle. Cold Arrow. Tinker using a cloak, but you can't hide from the trees. In fact, he does for a second there. Priest needs to get in range to heal, but the bears could pretty much two-shot a Pocket Factory. Sock's sticking it out. He's calling the boys. He's calling plenty of them. In fact, if he can hold, if he can get a few more rifles out and some Sorks, which are on the way, maybe he can win a fight.
Against this many bears, you need sorceresses, so that's really what he's lacking right now, but that's because he had to prioritize gaming priests first, and Sock struggling here.
Oh, and creeping at the same
Low
time.
units.
Look at
Oh,
that.
LawLiet gets the item. And Mana Stone, oh my god.
Yeah, that's quite nice. As though he needed any more bonuses in this game. He also has a greater mana on the Keeper. He's going to back away. Just going to heal everything up. Those bears, the double rejuve you mentioned, coming into play. Going to kill off the archers to get another bear, or maybe a couple of dryads. In fact, Priestess and a Ancient of Wind. All right.
Yeah, he wants to add fairy dragons. He wants to... Wait, does he want to have true shot with bears? Why?
Maybe he's just going to transition into Hippo Riders because he, can do whatever he wants at this point.
Is he starting to have fun a little early here?
Maybe it
He's in a good
happened.
position, but
Yeah.
we saw Sock make magic happen against X-Lord earlier. You don't want to underestimate this guy.
Yeah, the Priestess is maybe not great for the aura, but it is a very good orb carrier. Agility hero is always nice to have Orb of Venom on, of course, and range makes it even better. So the triple orb is going to be a possibility. And Ancient Wonders is coming up. Ultra Vision, very, very late, actually. Holy hell, that's an upgrade you can't afford to miss out on in most cases. But maybe in this case, LawLiet will be given some breathing room. Even supply and a red camp apiece, but the items might tell a different story. Cloak of Flames, I mean, maybe cluster rockets around the Tinker, do some AoE damage. Might be all right.
I wonder if he's going to retrain at all, actually. I wonder if LawLiet's like... It crossed his mind, it's like, I want to break his spirit already in game one. So I'm just going to get a Priestess... I'm going to get Fairy Dragons, and we're going to have some fun here.
Yeah, we got Owl Scout, so now he can break his spirit by just following him around with an owl the entire game. Just circle him, never engage.
It's the worst.
It's so annoying. It's the most annoying ability in the game. You can't do anything about it. You cannot stop it.
You know, actually in StarCraft 2, there was an equivalent of this, which Happy did all the time, because he was a Terran player.
Right.
So he would make a lot of orbitals, and then he would just scan you all the time. Wherever you go, he just followed you around with scans as a way to say, don't attack me, because I'll be ready. And it worked with me. Every time I played him, I was afraid to attack. I was like, oh, he knows where I am. He knows exactly what army I have.
Yeah, maybe we could see Sock do something similar if he builds like 25 Arcane Towers. The cooldown's like 60 seconds on the reveal on those. But Khadgar's is going to be excellent, by the way. Didn't quite catch that item earlier. But yeah, LawLiet's not lacking many things, especially mana at this point. Was that a TP back, by the way, just to get in position for more creeping?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think, did he think he was going to get attacked? He doesn't have a tower, so maybe he was really worried about even just the Keeper showing up and kind of messing up his day.
Right. Also a double TP purchase there by accident. Tinker had to sell one. A little unfortunate.
If Sock could have made it to, higher supply here, and I was going to say with Blizzard and Rockets, that's double retraining Tome, which, granted, it is cheaper than it used to be at the 200 currently.
Yeah, that is pretty sick, actually. I mean, Tinker, if he gets level 4 and then retrains...
Oh my god, these owls.
Dude, I mean, what are you supposed to do? You can't hide anything. You can't hide from me. And LawLiet is such a good player, he probably doesn't even need this information. He knows where his opponent is at all times, but...
it's actually so silly to go for Priestess. Just for Owl and True Shot when you have mass bears. Like, what?
He's got an orb, though. I mean, and that's as good as an ability, pretty much, so... Okay, LawLiet banking a ton. Going straight up with double Mountain Giants. Okay, he doesn't have the upgrades yet, though. He's breaking before Hardened Skin, Resistant Skin.
Well, he's facing a human that's just massing tier 2 units. There is no prospect of Sock going castle pretty much ever in this game, I think.
Right.
Oh, wow, he's really going for the wholesale here. And, I mean, those Mountain Giants are going to tank quite a bit with or without the upgrades. They're kind of perfect against this type of tier 2 army with rifles, casters, and some breakers.
Yeah, and there is enough rifles to deal with a couple of Fairy Dragons, but of course, the slow that you said was essential against the Bears earlier is going to be a problem if there's Fairy Dragons in range. Blizzard level 3 is a possibility here, and that's going to be a ton of damage, although I do think we need that second tone retraining still. I think that's going to be essential for Sock to win a fight. But win a fight he could if he can get up to 60 supply.
Yeah, the problem with Factory is that it's going to get sniped very quick if LawLiet wants to go for it. And there it is, Hardened Skin and Resistance Skin starting at the same time for LawLiet. who should be looking to start taking a fight very soon. See, he didn't even go for any upgrades. He knows it's one base. Those are not going to be particularly important. You might think, well, they're very cheap. You might as well go for them. He's like, nah, I just need units. I just need a lot of units, and then I'm going to squash this little army of yours.
Yeah, I'm surprised LawLiet has been so passive. I mean, he's been very, very far ahead. He did do that one little push into the main base of Sok, but I feel like he could have won a fight much, much earlier. But he wanted to wait for this, the triple orb, the Mountain Giant upgrades to be finishing. This is not only the funnest army, but possibly one of the strongest armies in the game.
Yeah, Sok pulling back the casters to make sure the Fairy Dragons don't do too many damage to them, and then targeting the Fairy Dragons. The problem is that he took a lot of damage very quickly on everything here. Archmage might be forced to Town Portal so fast, and he's not going to kill a single unit. Priestess get 3, and this is how you break your opponent's spirit here.
Yeah.
Sok, I just don't see him killing anything at all. Can he even kill like 1 or 2 bears against staff? I guess it's only 1 staff, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think there's really any way, especially still with the Pocket Factory. LawLiet is only going to pull further ahead. Now he's getting that 1 armor upgrade, because what else is he supposed to get at this point? He's got everything he needs. He got level 2 Aura, which is going to be nice for those Dryads, which are reinforcing currently. 61 supply out of nowhere for Sok. He has managed to get a decent army, but still Pocket Factory. Look how fast it's going to die. The positioning for the Blizzard could be good here, though.
Yeah, Entangled is really nice to cancel out Blizzard every time it's being used, and LawLiet should count on that to just keep happening. But yeah, Sok got a great engagement. LawLiet correctly pulled back and now re-engages. He's got to dodge that Blizzard here as much as he can with the bears in particular. Right now it's only landing on Mountain Giants, which I don't think he cares too much about. Let's see how many units Sok can kill this time. Remember their first series, he barely killed anything on last Refuge, and it feels like this might be headed this way as well here again.
Oh my god, the Blizzard is doing a ton of damage. The level 3 Blizzard cannot be underestimated. That's 3 bears and a Mountain Giant about to fall. Breakers in the front are a pretty good counter to the bears.
He blizzarded his own Tinker here for a second.
No, yeah. He does have a heal scroll push and vulnerability. Again, I mentioned, I'm going to keep saying it, he should be retraining into Cluster Rockets. Look at the amount of mana he has on that Tinker. And all the melee pulls back. We just need ranged here.
The cooldown for Factory is so long.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Has still 10 seconds till that's off cooldown. The Keeper is now level 5, level 3 Entangle. Going to help against that Blizzard even more. That range increase is going to be quite nice. But LawLiet backing away, and Sok closing the gap supply-wise. Ooh, Mountain Giant.
Whoa. Peace.
Yeah, you can't lose one of those bad boys. Right, Sok going on the aggressive, and
that's actually potentially a really good position. I wonder if you could go up the ramp here, just like sit there.
Blizzard up on the high ground. Would love to see that.
No, but with everything, with the whole army. And then build a wall and make a workshop behind, and then you just leapfrog with a Zeppelin, you know?
Right, true. Yeah, maybe build a town hall there, start long-distance mining with 20 peasants. Oh, the Blizzard, though. Look at that. That's more like it.
Oh, my God, the Archmage. Oh, my God, he gets entangled. Invuln transfer. But that means the next time that happens, there's not going to be an Invuln available for the Archmage. And LawLiet, very patient, pulls back again here.
Well, that Tinker's taking a lot of damage. There's the Entangle. Dispel is very slow. It's nowhere to be found. The heal scroll. The Tinker's going to fall at another Entangle. It's going to seal the deal for that second hero.
He didn't have Invis.
Very, very unfortunate there. The Blizzard is still good. Again, Cluster Rockets would be so good, but the heroes are both almost dead, and the taunt is coming in. And this is pretty much LawLiet taunting Sok in game 1.
He's having fun for sure here.
Yeah.
With the triple orb. The damage is so insane, actually, from the triple orb. Look at that breaker.
Yeah, he attacked it once. Look at that breaker fall, the one next to the Tinker. It's half HP, he attacked it once. Incredible.
Sucks. Honestly, given all things, he did a pretty good job.
Doing great, yeah, absolutely. The damage, the Blizzard is, level 3 Blizzard is ridiculous. You never told me that. I didn't know.
It is good. Not as good as Rockets.
Not as good as Clap.
Well,
or
everything's
Farms.
better than Clap, actually. Now that he got nerfed 5 times.
Farms are so cheap and they scout all over the place, Todd. Blizzard.
Shut it.
Mountain Giant. Gonna be healed.
Oh my God, the friendly fire! Stop it!
Oh no, not the Berserker!
I feel like I'm watching one of my 4v4s with these humans that just blizzard me because they can't stop it.
Oh, Fork Lightning doing a ton of damage. Nice heal scroll. Pocket Factory, if left alone, is going to do a lot of damage, but the issue is LawLiet just never leaves it alone. In fact, he is right now, though. Blizzard again cancel, push on vulnerability, again to cancel the Entangle. Tinker very, very low. Sok doing a great job with very little, but I'm afraid he's just not finding any kills. Tinker, nice Dispel. Can he get out 1 HP right now on that Tinker. Is there any way to fight his way out of this?
And yeah, Fort Landing will get him out of there. Keeper's going to have to town portal out, but LawLiet still on 68 supply against 26 for Sock. I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, somehow a 21-minute game, and there's the GG. Sock makes it competitive in the end. Some real fighting spirit there, down pretty much even 30 supply for the entirety of that game. But LawLiet with a very strong performance. Definitely the most one-sided game we've seen, but somehow not the shortest game we've seen.
I'm very surprised about the missed rally. How does that happen?
Yeah, at what point does he...
Yeah, do you click your own barracks on itself?
The unit dies that it was rallied to, or does it
Wait, it shouldn't be rallied on the unit. It's always rallied on the Archmage. Or maybe he rallied it on the units because he wanted to go elsewhere at the time, but that doesn't make too much sense.
Or he rallied to like a peasant that died on the way because his army was sort of split. Yeah, very weird, unorthodox mistake, but these things happen, I suppose. And
I'm going to take this off, but I have to map too. This is really hot with those lights.
That's all right. You fulfilled your promise. You fulfilled your promise. So yeah, map number 2. That strategy, do you think it's... Have you played the strategy? Have you practiced it, the Tinker second? Do you think it's viable, or were there just...
I don't enjoy tower rushing much.
Yeah.
So even though I was forced to do it back in the day because it was the best strategy at times, I don't really do that. But sometimes it looks very strong. Like recently, I told you about that series.
Yep.
Like a Chimico beat Kaho, and I was like, oh, I was so excited. I was like, all right, let's see, how did he do it? You know, like what units did he make?
Yeah.
And then game 1 was a tier 2 tower rush with Tinker, and game 2 was a tier 1 tower rush.
I'm a fan.
On
That's how I play.
Yeah,
I like that stuff. Yeah.
Straight and to the point. And I didn't learn much from this other than apparently tower rushing is good.
Yeah, especially against Night Elf. Sometimes, just not LawLiet. I feel like LawLiet really is probably the best in the world at holding this. He's just so good at these defensive positions.
Yeah.
Very detailed micro, which is kind of what you need when you're in these low econ games where the pressure's really,
I think
really on.
a lot of items were bad, but these were like some of the worst inventory early on that we've seen in a while. Like if you give Sock here like a Magi, Claws, and Circlets, we're looking at a very different game because that Archmage is hitting like a truck.
Definitely.
And then suddenly the Tower Rush is way scarier.
Yeah, or something like a Sobi Mask, more water elementals. There's not a ton of Dryads. He's got to pull more Whisk, can't get the Lures up. Yeah, different items can make a huge difference here for sure. And we're going to see what the items are now in game number 2. All right, springtime it is after all. Okay. And we do have LawLiet in the bottom right and Sock in the upper left. Now, what sort of strategies can we see here? Any special tactics on springtime?
Well, I think it's one of those maps where like it's a lot about expanding, usually pretty quickly. LawLiet actually, I don't know if that was a mind game, but earlier I went to hang out with him in the player area. He was sitting next to Sock and he was telling me like, what do you think about springtime? And I was like, you know, garbage. And and he and Sock both laughed and he was like, yeah, I think it's bad for human against undead and orc, but it's very good against night elf. I was like, why? He's like, well, you can't get abolished. And I was like, well, that applies for human as well. He's like, yeah, but like, you know, kind of seemed like he was saying like night elf needs it more, probably, and he just didn't feel like it was a very good map for elf against human. So apparently he wasn't playing mind games, or at least for now it was Sock that took that map to be played as second map, and we'll see what adjustments he makes because of that. In this case, neither player prioritizing the mercenary camp, which is because of what I just explained, the Shadow Priest on this map not having abolish.
Yeah, pretty much not really necessary at all. The immediate expansion creep, I'm a big fan of this personally when it comes to human against Night Elf. This isn't the easiest of camps to take, though.
Oh my god, you're going to snare. No!
Ooh, and he's...
And the water is not even attacking!
Yeah. Okay, luckily he summoned it quite early out of the altar, so he has a second water elemental. That's nice. So he's not going to take a ton of damage. But the Keeper is going to be here. No skill yet, but Treants probably.
This is really bad because then your new water elemental gets taken out of the way, and then the first one will then expire, and then you have none out on the map. LawLiet looking for the steal maybe with that claw. Sasquatch kind of chasing him. He pulled it in his direction almost purposely while he's working on the workers. Oh my god. Can you get it?
Oh, gotta be so careful.
Oh my god!
Unbelievable. That is pretty much an unacceptable mistake
and both players are smiling. I think they know how significant this is. The Archmage and the units, they saw this little plant flying in front of them as they couldn't do anything to stop it.
Oh, this is shades of what last Refuge was like in their last series right now. The damage being taken from Sock is very, very significant. He's going into a second Ancient of War with the Hunter's Hall right now. Tier 2 on the way as well.
Okay, because he thought he was going to be an expansion. Now that he sees that he pushed him back,
Right.
he attacks immediately. Didn't cancel the second Enchanter 4, interestingly. Maybe he thinks that if Sok gets desperate enough, he's going to tower rush.
For
and then
sure.
the second Enchanter 4 will come in super handy.
Yeah. For now, the Treant's coming in handy.
He's going Hunts.
Oh my god.
It's a Sonic build.
And a couple footmen going to feed that Keeper a little bit more. Keeper, of course, needs more mana.
Oh, he's stopping the
Nicely
attack.
done. Nicely done.
Keeper level 2.4 against Archmage 1.9. I think if you're Sok, yeah, you still got to Expo. That's still your best choice. Either that or Tower Rush, but we saw last game Tower Rush doesn't work very well against LawLiet. But you got to stay the course, Carson. A captain goes down with his ship.
And human players typically do go down with the ship when it comes to expansions this late, or expansions against Orc, it seems.
Well, except
Back in.
15 Serene Fortitude. They just hopped aboard a new ship.
True. Yeah, and cash. Orc players do it too. Okay, there's a trend here. 2 points make a line.
Oh my god, he's going to lose a whole bunch of peasants.
There's one. The claw is really coming in handy this game. I think that's a lot of value. You can see why these early item drops are so emphasized by us and the players alike. The claws are
Oh, he might force TP?
valuable. Did he stutter step? Yeah.
The Hunt's block! Oh my
Oh,
god.
the timing on that Huntress.
LawLiet
My
is
God.
so sick. Oh, he killed the Hunt though. Archmage is going to be very close to 3 because of this.
And of course, that's a crucial level up against Huntresses.
If he gets a surround, he can actually reveal with the lab. Nice little deny.
Yeah, that would be great. Huntress blocked by the critter. Archer playing Sentry Ward right now. And that's going to give a lot of vision. LawLiet knows exactly how much time he has to do damage. Tier 2, Tree of Age is almost done. And 2 towers on the way, and the Town Hall about to be completed.
This base looks so funny as well.
Yeah.
With the Enchanter Fire. Like, you never see a base like this. You never see Hunts at all in this matchup. Unless there is an all-in. But here there isn't. LawLiet could grab a Panda and keep on pressuring the Expo because he's already killed a lot. And even like, let's say even if there's an Arcane Tower, you can still dive and do a ton of damage, which right now there isn't that one Arcane Tower.
Yeah, this is an interesting position because typically if you've done this much damage in a standard game as a Night Elf, I would say probably you just skip a counter expansion, go for early
Oh no, he's
bears.
out of position.
Ooh,
Carson!
No, the
No!
tower. Not the tower again, ToD. It's never going to come up. He just
History
can't get
repeats
it.
itself.
Just can't get it. And the Archer is there as well for the piercing damage.
Oh, I'm taking off the costume after this game.
Oh no. Top 4 might be all he gets. The Arcane Tower going to go down, and all the peasants are soon to follow. The Treants cannot be dealt with. The Panda getting a lot of experience. Oh, I thought we were going to see an Entangle Surround there on the Archmage, but the Archmage pulls back in time. Tough, tough position for Sok now again.
Players' forces are
Yeah, LawLiet being very patient. Like, a lot of players would just be overeager here, maybe stand there too long,
Right.
take full damage from the militia.
Again?
Yeah, and LawLiet just pulled back. He wants to make sure there is not too much more time on this militia and then re-engages immediately after. And that Expo is getting overrun right now.
Yeah, the Footmen have been very lazy for Sok. That Peasant, though, not lazy, looking for Ancient Protectors, I assume, to the bottom side of Sok's base. But those Footmen, 2 Footmen could have made the difference here. This Arcane Tower certainly would have made the difference as well, but it's going to be denied again, and this is rough to watch. There's the Footmen.
The Hunt is like, follow me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take you to my friends.
And level 3 is certainly not a friend of these Footmen. The bane of every Footman's existence. And GG, a swift 2-0 for LawLiet. And for Sok, again, some mistakes, some big mistakes.
Yeah, this is honestly part of what LawLiet's able to do by putting on so much pressure and playing as flawless as he does. It's the same with Happy. Like, you
Right.
see a Happy play against someone, it's like, why are they playing so bad? Well, they're not. He's
Right.
making them do mistakes, have
Yep.
mistakes. It's the same here. Sok is a fantastic player. We saw one of the best series, maybe the best series of the tournament earlier when he played against X-Lord. Now he plays against LawLiet, and LawLiet is applying so much pressure that we see Sok forgetting units everywhere, misrallying and stuff. That's on LawLiet. That's him able to achieve that through the pressure, and his great play.
Yeah, and absolutely. He does a lot of different build orders as well, so it's always making you second guess yourself. We saw that Peasant scouting for the APs because he just doesn't know. LawLiet's such a wild card. He's not like super standard. We saw like Foggy earlier pretty much playing pure standard against Soen. He knew what to expect at all times most of the time. But for LawLiet, it's like you have to scout for hidden APs. You have to scout if he's going like hidden hippo riders, stuff like that. So
and he's the one scouting you at the
out.
same time. Like he'll react to whatever it is that you see too.
Yeah, and that's what we see, the triple orb, the mountain giants. Before you know it, like you counter the bears, and then he's got mountain giants. You counter the mountain giants, and he has chimeras. Like LawLiet is just a mad lad. But will it be a 3-0, or do you think Sock can pull himself together here?
It's going to be tough. But earlier when he played against X-Lord, that game one was pretty tough.
Yeah.
And then he still recovered beautifully and had a fantastic series. So who knows? But it seems like LawLiet just has Sock's number.
Yeah. Yeah, that Sasquatch chasing after the keeper. I wonder if that was a trick that LawLiet knew to make the Sasquatch follow his keeper.
It seemed to be, yeah.
Yeah.
He attacked it, and then the Sasquatch was like, oh, it's personal now.
Yeah, it's like you attack, and then you like attack the town hall or something. But maybe we'll see some more tricks. Here we go into map number 3. All right, and it is on Echo Isles 2.0. Okay, so the second or third time I believe we've casted this map. There is a tiebreaker. I think historically on Echo Isles, it was always a very campy sort of game. You take your natural expansion, you guys both get up to 80 supply, and then you can't really do much at that point, but now we have the tiebreaker, similar to Concealed Hill. At 12 o'clock, we have a extra 5th gold mine, and a very classic matchup here that I'm sure you're very familiar with, ToD. Warden versus Mountain King. We're going old school.
Yeah, Sock goes Mountain King because he knows of the high potential for Warden on this map, which means no mana burn, no non-stop entangle, and a hero that's pretty squishy, but that does have an escape. You know, like I heard so many times, well, why didn't you go Mountain King second or something against Warden? And it's like, well, you know, there's Blink to take in consideration there. So this is probably the best Warden map currently, now that there is no more Terranas in most tournaments. And LawLiet plans on taking full advantage of that. The best build is usually to creep the mercenary camp like he will here, set up an expansion here in this corner, and then walk it there to the expansion.
Right.
And I guess creep to level 3 quickly, but then after that still creep a little bit and sometimes be aggressive at the same time. And you want to get level 5 early, retrain, start killing a lot of peasants with Blink Fan of Knives and Anti-Magic Potion, but kind of force the human into a position where maybe he has to all in you, and then you just have to hold and you won.
Yeah. And of course, LawLiet is a master. He is the best Warden player, potentially, of all time. And most likely what we're going to see, you mentioned the harassing while creeping. It's very easy to do that. You can pick up the mercenaries and get 2 archers, and then you can send the Ancient War not just to the orange Murloc camp to the left of the mercenary camp, but also down to that expansion, maybe up to a green or something. You can very easily harass while getting level 3. And Pendant of Energy for the Mountain King, that's a good start for Sock.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned what LawLiet is going to do. What do you have to do in the human shoes here to counter this probably perfect Warden play we're going to see?
If I knew, I wouldn't be at the casting desk. I would be playing and crushing these nerds in a tournament.
Yeah, true.
I think it's really tough, especially when you open Mountain King first. Like, I guess if you want to play casters, you have to make Archmage second.
Right.
If you want to go castle and skip casters, maybe you could do Blood Mage second. But then if you go castle, you're accepting that the pace of the game is going to be very slow, basically. And then if the Warden gets 5, the Warden gets 6.
Right, for sure.
That's kind of how it works, because then it's Blink Fan of Knives all day into Peasants, which is not really defendable very well. As many towers as you might make. There's no Zeppelin to actually pick up the Peasants here and help them. So,
or Shredder.
Oh, they're competing for the... Oh, that's really well done. He bought the Dust first. They must... Maybe both have been spamming for that staff, but it's... Or maybe Sock didn't have the gold yet, but LawLiet gets it. Super important to get the staff here for him. Sock would have loved to be able to take that away. And yes, Sock is going to creep the expansion now, looks like.
Yeah, very slow expansion, much slower than we see with an Archmage typically, but it's important, more important, I would argue, to get level 3 on the Mountain King than to secure that expansion super early. LawLiet is creeping at the same time with the Ancient War and the Mercenaries, and he's going to get level 3 well creep-jacking most likely here.
I'm very surprised that LawLiet's not making an expo, to be honest.
Right. Oh, Trapper does go to Sock. Nice find there.
Having the Dust makes him feel extra safe here, but 1 bolt and 1 bash would get him out of the game very quickly. Looking for 1 more fan, maybe. Yeah, he wants 1 peasant.
Ooh. He's going to the shop to buy the Dust now.
He could staff now. The Mountain King should have faked going away and then came back, because I think if he staffs now, he gets out.
He also has the mana for a blink with that level up.
Yeah. He just goes blink. Okay, well, because it's Mountain King, that makes sense. Because very often, Night Elves, they would just go Shadow Strike and Fan of Knives against Archmage. That's probably correct, but against Mountain King, you probably want to have blink as early as possible. Blink level 1, kind of bad. Long cooldown, very costly mana-wise, but from blink level 2, Now we're talking. You know, now we got a little bit of Sengoku and Vegeta on the map, just like blinking all over the place.
Yeah, and LawLiet is like, probably the best of all time with these blink dodges. And he's really good at also not using the level 1 blink you said was really weak. He doesn't use it. He doesn't waste a lot of mana.
Yeah.
He doesn't absolutely have to. Pennant of Energy, he's going shopping now too. But in doing so, still not expanding. 450 gold and no expo.
Sok might have to fake the Stormbolt sometimes.
Right.
Pretend he's about to Stormbolt and then cancel it at the last second, force a blink, and then once the blink's already been used, like I said, it's a pretty long cooldown here on level 1.
All right. Will we have a lot of bashes in a row? I was going to say, oh my god, Jesus. That's a lot of damage. One more hammer, and the Warden could fall. So this, shows why the Mountain King is necessary against the Warden right here.
And LawLiet's just rushing tier 3 with double ore. So he might just expo later on.
Right.
I think you do have to expo eventually. Like one base would just be a complete all-in, which then if Sok holds, he's just won the game, pretty much. And Sok looking to counterattack. I think he sees that the Warden is completely out of mana for now. Catches the Berserker. It's actually pretty amazing. It's going really well for Sok. No expo for LawLiet at all. He's pressuring towards the main. It's going to be so hard to have Moonwells for everything.
You could get a lore as well. There's one lore that's only about 70% done, and yeah, he might go right for it. No, he just wants the mercenaries. That costs a lot of Moonwell mana as well. Yeah, he's going to get one lore. Warden coming back. Has no mana, though. Has to be careful of the hammer. Buys 2 potions. Lore gets canceled. Stormbolt mana, or Moonwell rather, should be used. The bash goes down. The bash luck has been insane for Sok. What a play. The mass detonate now, but there's just nothing left for LawLiet out of nowhere.
All right, Sok, for the rest of the tournament, just stop going Archmage. Just go Mountain King. If you're in trouble, just stop opening Mountain King and punish all these guys. That's what he's doing. That's what happened against X-Lord. And apparently it's happening again here, because LawLiet, I don't know how he wins from there.
He's 16 supply, 15 supply, 14 supply, GG. And Sok takes the next game. Unbelievable. I mean, sometimes you play really well, and sometimes you get 6 bashes in a row.
That was insane, actually, the amount of bashes.
Maybe both happened this time, though, to be fair to Sok.
I gotta say, it's very scary with Mountain King. My goodness.
Yeah. He's been playing very well with the MK. It feels like an old school approach, but honestly, against Undead in particular and against the Warden, of course, it should be played more. I feel like this should be more common, and Sok being the best human in the world right now. Remadima says that. Maybe Chemiko could be argued for as well, though. He's not here. But he could be on the cutting edge of this meta, the new Mountain King meta in 2022.
I wonder if LawLiet didn't expo because he was worried of some sort of tower rush.
Right.
I don't know if you remember, but Fortitude, he was doing that. He was opening Mountain King first. He was like, please expo. And then as soon as he saw an expo, he was like, it's go time, baby. He would go across the map with the peasants and just tower rush. And it worked decently. I think he won most games where he did that. Then again, against LawLiet, like one of the better players against tower rush, perhaps risky, but interesting. I mean, this was the best map to do this. On other maps, should be way harder to pull off a Mountain King first, but some of them might be okay.
Shallow Grave, maybe, could happen. Surprised we don't see Warden more on that map, actually, although Beastmaster, I guess, is...
Well, it's a lot about the creep routes that counter one another, right? It's like if you're human and you know there's going to be a Warden, you're probably going to want to straight expo and then start pressuring. But then if you straight expo and you're facing a regular hero, then that's when it's not as good.
Right.
It only counters the Warden mostly, so... Yeah,
plenty
a lot
of
mind games.
Exactly. Yeah, great minds think alike right there, too. So we're going to see what the next map is. We'll see if Sok has a little bit of momentum going forward now. He certainly needs it because last Refuge was very rough. Very rough. But to be fair, I mean, Echo Isles was pretty rough right there, too. So both players maybe... I don't even know if it was any huge mistakes, really. It was just they both happened to be very one-sided games.
Yeah. I think like when he staffed here, LawLiet, like he should have been a little bit further away from the mount. Like he could hold and then he could still win this game when he expanded himself.
Right.
Obviously, Warden is just supposed to be good in general against human expanding because you can kill a lot of workers, right? And then you kind of put them in this bad spot. But I think the game's ready, so let's go and jump on right into it.
All right. And game number 4 will be on Autumn Leaves here. A very, very strong map for both players. We've seen some epic games on here recently. Bottom left, LawLiet, of course. Upper right, Sok. And we're going back to a more standard approach. There's plenty of different creep routes, it feels like. We've seen people going for the shot first on this map. We've seen 2 different expand positions at times. What do you think the best approach here for Sock is?
I think doing like this small camp and then into expanding is like usually very solid. And scouting with that first footman, it's always very important. You want to know the exact creep route of your opponent. You can adjust. Sometimes you'll see them go for either the merchant first or even like the expand in the corner, and then you can maybe do your own expand in the corner as well as like a good counter. But I know it's like the most standard creep route possible. And another ring! What's going on?
A lot of rings.
It's for merchants.
Seems like only the undeads are getting good items this tournament. Oh, a little bit of a Sock, not sure what he wants to do. I wonder if that footman you mentioned scouted something that made him want to turn around there. That you mentioned that info being very important, and it's showing here for Sock.
He saw the keeper headed his way.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, I saw the plant fly right in front of me and then still the creep earlier, the Sasquatch, not again. It's another Sasquatch to other merchants. Another ring!
Oh my
God.
Oh, no.
Stop it.
Get me out. Get me out of this multiverse that we're in where everyone gets a ring. All right, Archmage goes forward. Of course, Sock could go aggressive and creep that expansion with pretty much just Militia. That wouldn't be unheard of if he wants to march across the map right now, but Militia seem like they've been called. LawLiet is going to go for the tier 2, and the Footman seems to distract enough for Sock to creep his Expo.
Yeah, the extra farm tells us that it's always going to be an Expo there. Pretty much. But that's wasting a bit of time here instead of being there on time. Oh, can he get the peasants?
One peasant or
Great escape
being microed. Very, very well done. Gonna live to tell the tale. Possibly the vision of the trees, and that's level 2, so an important kill for LawLiet, as proven by how much he chased it. And there's the level 2, but the Arcane Tower being power built in the meantime. Certainly this Arcane Tower gets up. So he says.
Are you sure?
3 archers, maybe not. Into the main base we go. A typical LawLiet play, it seems like. He likes sending the treants into the main when there's no Arcane Tower there.
Yeah, if you can even just kill one single peasant, it's just so annoying because you force militia time, which is lumber lost, and then you kill one peasant, which is more lumber lost. So you just kind of delay everything. And beautifully from there.
The tower does get cancelled. Didn't think it would, but the Footman out of position, and the tower maybe a little bit too aggressively positioned there as well. Treant's going to be dealt with. The mana and the health is low on the Keeper, so he's going to have to go back home, but I'd say this was a successful harass for LawLiet.
Does anyone try and buy the mercenaries here? Sock could in a second when he's finally done losing a ton of units, and LawLiet goes home to use the Moonwells. You can pull the camp. I think buying at least the Shadow Priest would be amazing against the Keeper.
Yeah, we'd love to see that play. I'm a big fan of that as well. Keeper going to get some more mana, and then perhaps look for a tier 2 counter expansion. If LawLiet is going to counter expand here, at what stage would you expect to have already seen it?
Well, he could start the tree anytime. He doesn't have to clear it out and put it on location, even though that would buy him some time with like the not having to move it part. But it seems like he wants to be really aggro. I wonder, wait, the AP, is it just going to dig through the trees towards the left and then just kind of land next to that tower? What the? This is sick.
Nice. Yeah.
Because he's going to have Panda as well with this.
Yeah, this could be a lot of damage. The Arcane Tower at least will be up for Sock, and
he goes Naga.
Defend as well.
So he wants to be really aggro. Oh my god, he's going to find it.
Nice
no way.
Scout. The accidental scout from Sock. Again, the Footman being a little bit lazy is actually going to be a godsend this time for Sock. He's going to find it. And that was half the push for LawLiet. That was probably the reason he went Naga, because he thought that was going to get up.
This must have happened before for him to have checked like this. I feel like you shouldn't really be able to expect it. And maybe he saw the army movement as well, and he's like, okay, this is fishy. Maybe something's happening. A surround on the Berserker here. Beautiful by Sock, who's going to get closer to level 3. An archer will fall before he can shadow meld, and there it is. That level 3 is so important.
Okay, the Militia go back home. Very nice finds for Sock, and let's not forget, he is the one on 2 base right now. LawLiet goes straight for the tier 3. And the Naga did work on last Refuge, of course, the triple orb possibility yet again. But LawLiet was much, much further ahead in that game than he is in this. He's going to have to get something done, whether that be creeping, more expanding on his side of things, or more peasant kills. And I would say the easiest of those 3, probably peasant kills? No, creeping.
Sok is one full tech behind,
Yeah.
but he's one full level ahead. Archmage is level 3, Keeper is level 2.1, so if he can fight effectively and... Actually, oh my god, his peasant count on lumber is pretty amazing right now in this game. He might be in a great spot here if he can just manage the next few minutes, minimizing losses and not overextending or anything like that.
Oh, Book of the Dead. I thought we were going to see an immediate surround attempted there with the Book of the Dead, but maybe Sok not paying a ton of attention there. Priest purchased to deal with the future Entangle, but it's not going to be level 2 Entangle because the Naga's getting some solo experience right now. Claws of Attack not bad from that shop. Blacksmith coming up. So at tier 2, do we expect to see double Sanctum Workshop or second Barracks Rifleman? What sort of units do you think Sok should go here?
Yeah, usually a double Sanctum Workshop is going to be the standard. On this map, Panda second is very common here, especially here where it's sure there's no Demon Hunter second being played. I think that might be the best thing to do by far. And Naga doesn't scale super well later on in the game. Here, usually for LawLiet, like he might regret that pick when he's gonna be lacking some proper AoE damage that the Panda would have provided.
First Dryads here. Abolish is going to be done in 1 second. The Priest is good enough for the time being. Water Elementals are just going to be feeding experience, but the Footmen not going to be so easy to feed experience. Very, very tanky against this mainly piercing damage army. The farms that we all love so much in the front of the Town Hall now to block. Gonna block the way there, and of course, when there's bears, you're gonna need that that buffer for the Town Hall.
Yeah, for sure. I thought he might be supply block for a second, but yeah, he made quite a few farms to make sure he can get his second hero ASAP. Not quite in position to... Oh no, he must be. Okay, keep about to... Okay, no, he was in position. Panda it is, as predicted. And then we should be seeing double Sanctum Workshop start momentarily here for Sok. He's in a beautiful position here.
Yeah,
like, sure. Look at his economy. He's banking so much already. He doesn't even have to break for a little bit. He should wait for the Sanctums to finish. I like using the book as well, because it's just made him creep way faster.
And the Keeper really hasn't had much mana this entire time. Panda's going to get a nice breath, and the Moonwells, I can only imagine, are dry right now.
Wait, the Panda!
He's in no man's land. What is he doing? Is he just... Okay, he's not dead. I thought he was red HP for a second there, but at least he does get out. And now the Sanctum's almost going to be done. I imagine they're being power built, although it doesn't actually look like it.
Yeah, he had 1 and 1.
Yeah.
It's wrong. If you have the lumber, like, you should definitely do 2 and 2.
Right.
At least. Workshop now starts. Even though, like, it doesn't feel like he's in immediate danger, there is no point banking 3k here. Like, 1500 is more than enough, I think.
Yeah.
If the game was closer, you might even break at, at 800, 1000. And he's gonna get sorceresses first. Okay, so he sees those bears and he really respects them. Like, if the game was Expo against Expo, usually you get a couple priests, then you get Dispel, then you start adding sorceresses, and then you go into breakers. But now he saw those bears, he's like, okay, he's still on 1 base, he probably wants to attack, and immediately went into 2 sorceresses. Obviously, he can have militia to work with if LawLiet sticks around here.
Yeah, 1,200 gold still. Sok has broken upkeep. He's going to go into rifles, mortars, probably 1 flying machine for the over-the-tree vision, and of course a lot of breakers. And then the sorks that you said are so necessary.
Let's call the police.
Call the police. In fact, yeah, again, the flank on the militia could be really good. We saw it in this position almost earlier. A lot of bears, though. Sok has some adversity to overcome here. But once he does that, he's going to have a massive army advantage.
This is a really bad fight.
Yeah.
There's so many rejues everywhere.
3 towers, though, might be good enough to hold on. But it's going to be difficult. If those farms weren't there, this town hall could be broken.
Yeah, the thing is, there is 1 Dryad. So once there is even just 2 sorceresses, everything's going to get slowed.
Right.
And then from there, it's so much easier to fight against those bears effectively. Sok has the economy to pretty much rush to 80 supply. So he just needs to play passive for now. Because even if there is an expansion behind this, he's just so late. And once he has 80 supply, then he can fight comfortably against this.
Okay, so Ancient Wind and expansion and very late Ultravision. Actually, it's not late at all. Right before nighttime. LawLiet not messing around here. Police were called. But 65 supply, you don't really even need militia at this point. Just plenty of breakers. The workshop going to be finished. Already +2 attack as well, and +1 armor. Now going to be starting for the breakers. Really nice foresight to go for those upgrades. He's got plenty of lumber. He has the entire game, so like the upgrades.
I think LawLiet can tell he has a little bit of time before the attack actually happens. And look, he's actually going to buy even more time here with the Zeppelin drop. So he gets a win for Fairy Dragons, which are very important here. But we do have a decent amount of rifles. It'll be important to micro that correctly.
Yeah. I'm wondering where he's going to drop. It seems like it was found by a
I think
flying
the main.
machine.
The main is
It's
best.
being attacked by something. Yeah, the one flying machine did actually find it, so...
He can still go. Like he's fast. Like one flank doesn't do enough damage.
Yeah.
And Sok should preemptively maybe militia everything. And yeah, he did. Wait, yeah, he's attacking his own sanctum for a second. Don't want to do that.
Militia, a lot of them are going to fall here, but LawLiet wisely TP's out right away. Doesn't lose any bears, does lose a Zeppelin at the end, and it seems like only, what, 2-3 peasants went down. Not too bad. Good damage. But he did buy time for that expansion, LawLiet, that's now coming up. He did buy time for the Ancient of Winds. The Ancient of Wind, I guess, just the one for the Fairy Dragons that will soon come out. The orb is purchased on the Keeper, and I would imagine once there's a second orb available, we'll have one on that Naga as well. Panda, getting closer to level 3, that's going to be a huge upgrade for Sok.
Oh yeah, that Breath of Fire level 2, very, very good. Unfortunately for Sok, he didn't get a second scroll here. That would have been pretty good to have that when you have 80 supply, like just the potential for pulling back units and making those super worth is very, very high. Then those poor bears, slowed, stunned, they're crippled.
That is very, very annoying. They can barely move, Todd.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Applause to
dad
the
jokes.
audience, please. Applause to the audience.
Didn't know you were a dad, man.
Are under attack.
All right, creeping continues. No pot up this time around. Shows what kind of position LawLiet is in. Not as comfortable as he was on last Refuge.
Oh, this Archer.
Love it. Oh.
Flying machine.
We didn't see it. Oh, no.
I got no time for you. You're not worth.
Panda.
I got an expansion to kill.
It hasn't minded all yet. Oh, the boys are being called 76 supply, almost a 14-minute push. This is a 20 supply advantage with the militia.
He made sure to buy the second scroll. So like the micro potential is huge.
Right.
Especially because units don't die that fast. There's no panda to like fry the backline. He can just make sure he keeps pulling back units, and then once he has, 6 to 8 mid-hit points units, that scroll value is just absurd.
And
He leaves the mortar on the expo and attacks the army with the rest of the units.
Right, yeah.
Well done.
Pressure. And he can also start building towers here, build a shop here.
Expand.
Yeah, why not? You got Manor Town Hall him. You could do it, Sok. He's in a fantastic
So you wanted to
position.
meme game one, didn't you? Who's memeing now?
Good, Panda. Nice Breath of Fire, 60 against 80. And I think the real bummer for LawLiet is he just has no items, no heal scrolls, no potion of vulnerability, no town portal, or else he'd probably be TPing right now to cancel those towers. One bear might be good enough, but Sok turning around.
What do you mean no items? He has that one ring he found in the store.
Oh, true. Beautiful. And the orb. Worth its weight in gold. The towers, though, even if they're canceled, the army is big enough. Naga, decent fork lightning with the slow trap kicking in.
Oh my god, the Breath of Fire. Not even level 2, but still hurts. LawLiet has to cap out, and Sok is fully back into this series. We're down to the last map, Carson.
Yeah, very surprising. I honestly, after the first game, I thought it was going to be a 3-0, I'll be honest with you. But Sok's showing a lot of resiliency today. Also lost map 1 earlier, but he managed to scrape it back. So game number 5, the first game 5 of the day. Yeah, the first game 5 of the day. So this is going to be very stressful for both players. It's single elimination. Whoever loses this map is going home.
The first and maybe the last, because I heard later Happy might be speed running the rest of the tournaments.
Possibly.
I think that's what we've seen in the past. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Would have been pretty sad to get a 3-0 here. And yeah, it's all down to that last map. Sok regaining momentum, but obviously it does feel like LawLiet maybe was playing a little bit more shaky those last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the game with Warden where he got quadruple bashed bothered him, and then he went into this one a little bit emotional because that was a difficult game for him. Not much could happen once that AP got found. Like he couldn't get anything going at all.
Yeah, I think what was nice for Sok's side is we got to see a little bit more of a standard approach. He got the early expansion up, and then he went into Double Sanctum Workshop, and just immediately, as fast as possible, once you've got that 1,500 gold in those tech buildings, just go to 70 supply, break their counter expansion, or hold their bear bust, and you pretty much won the game. So I like to see that Sok is not only just going for like these Tinker Second Tower rushes, the Mountain King sort of weird different build orders, but also still sticking to what is most standard and most known on these maps.
Yeah. It was close to 80 supply, double scroll. Like he was never going to lose that game here in a straight up fight, especially when there is no panda. It's so much easier, I think, against Naga. Well done, but he's not quite there yet.
Yes.
That last map, very important. And we're going to find out in a few moments exactly what it is. There is so much pressure into that last game that they have to make the right choice, hero and creep route and everything wise. Let's go right into it and find out what map 5 is.
All right, Concealed Hill. Now, what's been crazy about this series it's every map seems to have been pretty much one-sided. Like we've known from the beginning who was going to win on all 4 of these maps pretty much so far. And Concealed Hill has been similar in this matchup because the human, I'm sure you know this from experience, you can struggle a lot to expand on this map, so much so that Night Elf players often just go 2 Ancient Wars right away.
And you know what else was one-sided? The first time they met on this map.
Exactly.
Remember?
Yeah,
that was a slaughter.
Rough. Yeah.
So hopefully we don't end the whole series like this again here, because that would be pretty sad. Can get a more competitive game on the way. But yeah, you mentioned it. It can be difficult to expo. We'll see how much emphasis LawLiet puts towards harassing in the first place. Does he go for any sort of mass tier 1? Again, are we finally going to see some decent inventories? To be honest, Sock mentioned it himself against X-Lord. If he'd get the most absurd items, he got like true shot while going rifles, like the absolute dream.
Ooh, from Sock and a media lab creep. This seems... Is this standard? It seems a little bit different from what I'd expect.
It's not, but I think he's like so sure that LawLiet will creep the small camp and maybe not expect this, that it's okay as long as you don't lose like a ton of workers immediately after, and you see he's even pulled 6 peasants here to go there. He's going to make sure his water elemental is tanking now, so they stay like very healthy. And then it gives him the opportunity later on to get a Shredder.
Right.
It can be very important, as we saw previously. I mean, at this point, he's almost the king of Shredders, like in that series against X-Lord. Canceling the expo as well. I think he's hoping also that he finds some item that helps him secure the expo, perhaps, and then fight. Because I really can't think it will be one base, but oh my god, he's running across the map.
Oh, wow. No way he's going for the Tinker again, because he's power creeping what seems to be to level 3. He can call Militia and creep the turtles. He can call Militia and creep the orange next to his base, and then he'll be level 3 very, very early and can pair that with a lot of pressure. So this does scream tower rush.
Tinker. How about a tier 1 tower rush? No, you would have had the extra farm already on the way. It looks like he's about to tech.
He's creeping the orange as well. This is a very fast level 3, and one mana stealing. Actually not too bad. I was going to say it'd be really good if he was defending a harassing keeper at his expansion, but it's still just as good to deny the treants.
Yeah, denies.
Go ahead.
Denies for Sock are even more important, I think, because that keeper is already was 2.4, now he's 2.5 after that 1 footman. Sock needs to land every single deny here. If that keeper gets 3 very quickly, it's going to be a disaster for Sock.
Oh, it doesn't land that one. Nicely done from LawLiet to sort of attack with everything at the same time there. Level 2 water elementals online and plenty of them because of the wand. Dust and boots, no dust and circlet going to be purchased, and the pressure is mounting. Tier 2 on the way and more footmen, of course. I would expect defend eventually for Sock. For LawLiet, second Ancient War on the way.
Damn, Sock lost a lot here and didn't really kill much. But he did get level 3 thanks to Militia creeping on the other side at the same time. Not working with too many Moonwells. Oh my god, this push.
I think.
Looking quite scary all of a sudden. He needs to mass detonate those water.
LawLiet might have thought, like you mentioned, he was getting tier 1 tower rush because he scouted the main base, but before he did that, he put an Ancient War very defensively in his base, which is the typical response to tier 1 tower rushes. There's level 3, level 2 Entangle is going to be pretty much one-shotting these footmen, but the dust is going to mount a couple of archer kills for Sock. Very nicely done so far, and LawLiet might be on the back foot here after this harass, but the Archmage needs to go back to heal.
Sock on this map often played very aggressive. I don't know if you remember, but DreamHack a while back, DreamHack Asia, I don't remember who was the Night Elf that he was facing, maybe Moon, and he went Beastmaster second, kept attacking using Clarities, and then tower rushed him. And that actually worked. He won that whole tournament as well. And now again being very aggressive. Ooh, that's going to be more experience going to the Keeper here. The Keeper is actually caught up and got ahead experience-wise of the Archmage. So beautiful hold here by LawLiet, who's going to have tier 2 quite a bit earlier than Sock, and might just be happy going into bears from there. And there is no blacksmith for rifles. I mean, he's either expanding or it's a tower rush, but I'm leaning towards tower rush here.
He's getting a lumber mill now. I don't like Sock's chances. That harass was good at what he wanted it to do. He damaged the Moonwells quite a bit in terms of their amount of moon juice, but the fountains are available for healing, and speaking of the fountain, it gets woken up right now by the Keeper. But yeah, I can only imagine with the lumber mill coming with no blacksmith, like you mentioned, that this has to be a tower rush. But there's no defend because the footmen have just kept dying. He doesn't want to get defend for 2 footmen. He wants to get defend for like 6, 7, 8 footmen. So Sock struggling a bit in Game 5.
Second Ancient of War. And the shop for LawLiet.
Yeah.
Is he convinced he's getting tower rushed? And is he right? Nature's Blessing start. He knows this is coming. Is this going to be enough? He starts to improve both immediately. Naga second. Sok is about to buy his second hero. We assume it's going to be a Tinker here. He's trying to pretend he's not tower rushing and he's just turning around because he's getting entangled. But the police is on the way. Tinker, there it is. LawLiet fully getting ready for this. Doesn't have that many Moonwells to work with in terms of juice. Like, he already emptied a lot of it. But he needs shop, which he's already getting. And just a ton of archers, I guess.
Yeah, Sok going to show us why everyone's saying this strategy is good, and he's going to show us why he believes in this strategy. A Sanctum coming up, defend on the way, some priests to reinforce would be great. The defensive Pocket Factory is quite good. The towers this time around may not be canceled. Third, I believe, yeah, third Ancient War going to be canceled there. Nature's Blessing about to finish, and the Ancient Wars can move in further.
Defense is not done.
Oh, yeah, this is a very late defend.
Yeah, way too late. I think he made a mistake here.
Yeah.
Maybe he made one footman too many. There's still a bit of nighttime, so maybe you can send one injured footman to the fountain, but so far this is really not doing much here. LawLiet completely ready. Perfect read and scouts by the veteran.
Yeah, towers. They didn't get up on last Refuge. Will they get up this time around? One Arcane can make a world of difference, but two Ancient Wars can end that world. Treants being summoned, attacking Clockwork Goblins, a battle of the ages, but the Peasants retreat and Sok gives it up. But will he be giving up this game? I mean, this is a tough position to come back in.
I think when Sok arrived in LawLiet's base, if he realized that he was just pure archers and there was just no tech ready for anything, and even like Nature's Blessing was made, I think he should have just pulled back.
Right.
And then, you know, maybe go double Sanctum or like Sanctum Blacksmith, creep a bunch, Expo, and then play the same game that we played on last Refuge, but without being infinitely behind from the start.
Yeah, now it's looking very, very similar to last Refuge. The Blacksmith is coming up. The LawLiet's going tier 3.
I go. The Tinker.
Oh, no.
So close! The last shot doesn't go off, so he actually lives.
But how do you heal him? I mean, there might be a priest at this
Yeah,
point.
he's going to make a priest first, for sure.
Because the Sanctum's been up for quite a while. There's a priest. Okay, that's going to heal that Tinker up in no time whatsoever. But the Blacksmith is quite late. The first rifle's not going to be out for at least another minute here. And Sok going to need to retrain. Hopefully for his sake this time around we do see the cluster rockets. He could don't even go engineering upgrade, at least on level 2. Just get cluster rockets and then don't retrain.
It's weird, he's not going home.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to make sure he creepjacks LawLiet if LawLiet starts the laboratory, or maybe it's just going to be another wave. But because he got the Blacksmith, kind of feels like he's going to go into rifles no matter what here.
He's got so much gold too. He had 500 gold there for a second, Sok. He could also be looking for Ancient Lore cancels if they don't think they've been built yet.
Yeah, because of the way this is going, I think LawLiet will just play Mass Archer with marksmanship.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
And then maybe a third hero, orbs, the old school style that we're seeing. But before that was against expansion, and also that was because Night Elves were desperate.
Yeah.
They couldn't find anything to do.
It's because, I guess, Entangle as well can deal with all the footmen, so defend not really an issue if you're just building archers. The Nog also pretty good at dealing with footmen too, so Ancient Wars are going to go across the entire map. Good old BNet strategy I used to play. I just keep building Ancient Wars and keep sending it to your opponent's base. LawLiet could do something like that this game, but...
You know it used to be completely broken, right? In Reign of Chaos?
Yeah, they were fortified uprooted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
So Night Elves would just literally spam Mass Ancient of War and they just like steamroll everyone.
You had to play versus that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, how'd you counter it?
Stormbolt level 3 on buildings.
Oh, true, right, yeah.
I still lost. Yeah,
the good old days.
It was too hard to go. Luckily, it got nerfed quickly.
Yeah.
Or semi-quickly.
That's a lot of archers. And that could be a lot of damage, potentially. Pair that with the level 2 Entangle, pair that with the Cold Arrow. We could see a dead Archmage, a dead Tinker in no time. Ancient Wars still finding some value. And Tier 3 going to be finished in 1 second. That means Orb, that means Marksmanship. The Hunter's Hall finishing perfectly on time as well. And probably a Priestess. Wellspring. I think he's not forgetting that.
Alchemist third has some merit as well with
True.
Healing Spray.
Yeah.
But LawLiet wants to be all damage there.
You could get some attack upgrades as well. Yeah, Hunter's Hall is going to find so much value. Of course, Marksmanship is You need Hunter's Hall for that. Also, Wellspring is just so good when you don't have bears, and then you can get +1, 2, and 3 attack upgrades. It's going to be a lot of archers and a lot of damage.
LawLiet's so patient. Either player might have lost patience at some point, and like they would have been making a big mistake taking a fight, but they're both so smart and they're both playing this correctly, just doing this little bit of a standoff there, not going for it.
Okay. Scroll the Beast here potentially could be nice. We don't have any bears for Roar. I always just like seeing Scroll the Beast because I want to see the maximum damage, but consumables could even be better potentially.
Oh my God.
We do see it.
You're
and
a
we're
prophet,
gonna have the
Carson.
aura. Unbelievable. I'm taking Neo's nickname now after that one. Ooh, Endurance Aura, that's a good one.
Whoa, yeah, that's pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Bit of extra movement speed, but attack speed most of all for all these rifles, footmen, heroes.
Ancient Allure now too. That's going to be possibly a bear just to heal up the heroes a bit so you're not always running out of Moonwells. Or it could be more Mountain Giants potentially for some solid frontline.
Yeah, either works.
Yeah.
We need a bear, bro.
Pocket Factory has been underwhelming today. Even earlier when it was played against Soen, the Tinker didn't find a ton of value. Sort gonna be entangled. That's a nice find. Was that the only lonely source right now? And there's 3 priests in the back that don't have any friends other than themselves.
So lonely she jumped into the dating pool too early and got entangled.
It's a dangerous world out there. When trees attack and water elementals. No real way to deal with them unless you're going to pull a bunch of wisps. LawLiet has plenty of lumber. He could do that. Yeah, there's the wisps. Very, very necessary to deal with this front line of summons. A lot of fighting this game, but Sok has seemed to be not in a position to win any of these fights for a long, long time.
I think I was trying to connect on the priest here to make sure there is no more dispel, in which case the keeper becomes even better, and that Scroll of the Beast is really saving it as well.
Yeah.
Maybe in the fight he might try to target the priest. Okay, it's hardened skin, so he wants to go into a mountain giant eventually. He's queued both upgrades, in fact.
It's going to be a long, long while. Do we have a second orb yet? Yeah, we do have a second orb. That's 2 out of 3. He can give that second one to the priestess and then eventually turn that cold arrow off and get a third one on the Naga.
A player's force is
Yo, dog, I heard you like poison, so I put some poison in your poison.
Give me some Dryads as well. Maximum damage. And maybe more auras. We could have a Lion Horn from this red camp for the Lion. That would be an insanely strong item. Of course, he already has the flute, essentially, with that priestess, once it's level 2 at least.
Where's the keeper carrying both orbs?
Well, he likes Venom, so he got some Venom with his Venom. Like you said. No?
Yeah.
If only they'd stacked on one hero. Imagine having 6 orbs in the same hero. I would do
Oh,
it.
the Demon Hunter level 6.
Yeah. You just would literally only go 1 Demon Hunter, like Reign of Chaos days. Okay.
All right, the next wave is coming. I think it's just, don't even cancel the expo, just run past it. We're going straight for the throat here in the main. Wall of Illusion's pretty nice, but obviously Wisps should be used here for the fight.
It's actually not too bad for Sok. I mean, he's catching LawLiet when he's expanding, building his first Mountain Giant that hasn't finished yet, and getting +2 attack that hasn't finished yet. He retrained a Blizzard. The Pocket Factory is finding maximum value against the buildings.
LawLiet's gonna target heroes. Watch this. He's like, Blizzard me, I dare you, Blizzard me, please.
And still no aura yet. Scroll the Beast still.
Oh, Sok
saved.
baited beautifully. He went forward, he was like, he's gonna entangle me, then he ran backwards, and he was like, super safe.
Very nicely done. Ancient War is finally going to go down. This is a 52 supply Sok, so he would love to almost lose a unit, probably a couple of those peasants. Shot being built aggressively, more riflemen on the way. And it seemed like LawLiet was in the driver's seat this entire game,
How is he
but
not
Sok
canceling?
finds a way.
How is he not canceling the expo?
It's LawLiet, man. Maximum greed all the time.
What the hell? You're about to maybe drop out of the tournament, bro. You might want to cancel that. It's not useful. LawLiet has no town portal to go back home
Right.
with the Moonwells. Maybe getting a Zep would be good.
Oh, the Blizzard is so good here.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
remember, because... Oh my god, the Priestess is going to die. Okay, no, he staffs on time. Remember, because he didn't go for Alchemist, he has no healing.
Yeah, yeah. And the Moonwells. They do have Wellspring, but it's about to be daytime.
The Priestess has 2 orbs.
Okay, yeah, he's going to pass that over. There's the triple orb. LawLiet was waiting for this before engaging in, but did he wait too long? Ivory Tower is coming up. The Mountain Giant is going to work on those buildings in the base.
Where's this guy going?
Oh, no. What are you doing? Is he dead? Okay, no, staff out.
Woo!
LawLiet always on point with those.
But the
plays.
archers are stuck away from the rest of the army. They're
Expansion's
stuck
been
behind enemy
exciting,
lines,
so
Carson.
This is Rough. Pocket Factory focused down. Necessary to kill that Pocket Factory. You can't just let those Clockwork Goblins kill all your buildings. Level 3 now on the tanker.
Dude, I think Sock's winning. Blizzard's doing so much damage. The tower almost finishing. He's trying to make sure he gets that. 4 seconds remain. The tower will survive. He's going to complete in a second. The archers can't do anything. Every time they come forward, they're being targeted. They fall very rapidly. Invuln was finally forced. Maybe hero target might be the only way now for LawLiet.
Mountain Giants still ever tanky in the front. The Arcane Tower, like you mentioned, pelting away, taking a lot of mana away. LawLiet is going to be mining now, assuming he has Wisps at that Tree of Life in the center. I don't know if he does. Okay, he's building them from the tree, so he's going to be on 2 bases. LawLiet, I mentioned it time and time again, a master at holding in these positions. Very, very patient. Delays as long as he can. He does have a supply advantage right now with a second Mountain Giant on the way. Has yet to engage in. Finds a Priest. LawLiet finding his stride a little bit here.
I can't believe he expanded when he's getting all-ins.
So many kills. He's getting so many kills. He just gets 3 kills and runs away. The triple orb is doing a ton. He almost kills a rifle immediately with that triple orb.
He's doing a good job with the archers coming in and sniping one caster at a time. Now Sock sees the expansion. He's focused on taking out this main base here. Sieging non-stop. Illusions doing work at the front. Ancient of War is going to go down momentarily. Mountain Giants took a lot of damage. But there's Moonwells to work with. He uses a Moonstone. The Archer's actually intercepting, reinforcing units by staying behind like this, but he just doesn't have that damage here at the front behind the Giants.
And he gets a Priest in the back again. The Archer movement is brilliant from the LawLiet, and he keeps them all alive. I heard another rifle go down too. The Pocket Factory had a position. The Blizzard has been good, but if you're not landing on those Archers, you're not getting a ton of value out of it. Fork Lightning, another Rifleman's going to fall, and LawLiet, how do we ever doubt him?
Yeah, he's on 60 supply now. That triple orb really putting in work. Still has yet to use the Score the Beast, by the way. Neither did he sell it. He just like saved it.
Yeah.
As a plan C or something.
I would like to see the damage if we do use that eventually, but for now it's not necessary. The Peasant's going to go down. The Shop's going to go down. Almost a level 5 on the Keeper. And Sock is going to have to go back and go into his plan C. The first was a tower rush. The second was a follow-up push. Now it's going to be trying to force this into the late game if possible, but he's going to need a second base to do that.
Yeah, there's a clock on Sock to do something about this middle expo here.
Yeah.
I think he's just going to creep this, regroup, and then go for an attack in center.
Okay, level 4, that's level 2 Brilliance Aura.
Rune Bracers, feels bad.
Wait, he went level 2 engineering upgrade. Is that standard? I remember there was some math that people did that
Yeah,
said,
sometimes some people get that.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you don't get rockets, I don't even want to talk to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Triple Roost! No.
Oh, the classic. All right. When you're ahead, don't necessarily get further ahead.
Oh, what a
Just
guy.
beam when you're ahead, I guess. That's LawLiet's motto.
What a guy.
We're gaming today. He's got the Moonwells to support it. He's going to soon have the gold. Not so much the lumber, but he just spent so much of that.
This is so absurd, by the way. This is the last game.
Yeah,
and he's just doing all
right?
these things that feels like he's just so greedy.
It does feel like he's been trolling a little bit.
Yeah,
honestly.
he wants to live on the edge.
It's crazy.
He really does.
The Blizzard is great, but the Mountain Giants are greater. Ooh, Clockwork Goblins are doing a lot of damage to the Archers. They get 3 kills there. Imagine he gets no value out of these chimps, loses his expansion, gets dropped out of the tournament. Imagine here. I mean, Socket has been doing a great job in these fights.
Honestly, it felt like he was goofing around too much and he might drop out because of this.
Oh my god, and the Blizzard gets another Archer. The expansion might
Everything's low, actually. He can't heal very well. Because he doesn't have, like, he has limited amount of Moonwells to work with. And because he's been in low upkeep all this time, he wasn't even mining that much, right? He was 7 on both bases. So he can only start 2 chimps.
And they're
It's against mass rifles with +2.
Yeah, they don't do anything. They're just, it's 10 supply of a joke. That's what it is. He might as well have built 5 trees of life that aren't mining.
Oh my god.
He'll scroll. Oh my god, speaking of a joke, how about some entangle on your Archmage? And the first hero is dead. And just when we think the tides are going to turn, they turn yet again in the favor of LawLiet for like the 5th time this game. He says, I'm not memeing, I'm winning.
And he's to instant revive for sure here. A little bit of gold for that. Death Note's probably watching this somewhere. He's like, this ball! The priest just wants.
He can kill this tree if left alone because the Pocket Factory is going to do a ton of damage. 71 supply, but really, I mean, we can call it 55 because that's 3 Chimeras. And the Fork Lightning is great, but the Moonwells are dry. That could be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
I mean, the problem with the Chimps here, like, yes, he has rifles, is that there's going to be MGs at the front.
Right, for sure.
And let me tell you, as a 4v4 player, when you face Giants and Chimps, it's like, what do you do? Because, like, I mean, yes, you can go Gyros to try and counter the air, but then the opponents have a bunch of AoE that's always going to be good against it. So yeah, the Giants are distracting with the taunt, and the Chimps will always put in work. To counter the Giants, usually you would need some sort of, you know, Knights or like Ground Army that does well. And then all the Chimps, they're just going to have free reign over whatever's on the ground. Even Q's an upgrade here.
More Sorks on the way. Chimps have yet to be shown, but now they are. There's the first two, and the Blizzard is still doing a ton of damage. The Entangle, you have to dispel so fast because the Fork Lightning follow-up is so strong. Sock struggling to win this fight. He wants to get over the trees to kill those Chimps, but he can't get past the MGs like you mentioned, and the heroes are just always being focused. And the MGs, if they're focused, they're just going to go to the fountain.
Yeah, those MGs just cannot die against this army already.
Yeah. Yeah, Rifle does like, what, 2 damage when they have hardened skin, something like that, max?
He honestly could have just made Dryads. This would be over a long time ago, but
Yeah.
I think he just wanted to have some fun. Went for Chimps. Now the main's mind out. LawLiet can move his tree to the center. And Sock, in all sorts of trouble, needs to win this game here with whatever he's got left. The Archmage goes down. And that's it. LawLiet moves down to the semi-final, to the grand final.
Yeah. Not a bad performance at all. I mean, a little memey at times, of course, but if it works, it works. Who are we to doubt the master? Who are we to doubt the legend on our screen right now? A great performance from both players. They made it to Game 5. They got the first Game 5 of the day. We saw plenty of different strategies. We saw mass archers. We saw some unorthodox heroes. We saw something in the audience, apparently.
You see unimpressed happy by the entrance?
Oh, no. These are the guys I have to play to win this tournament. Can I just have my check already and my trophy?
Oh, my God. Well, pretty sure he needs to worry a bunch about Soin first.
For sure.
Thinking about the finals. But, yeah, great series here. And LawLiet, it just seems like he's having so much. Actually, I asked him about, you know, he was playing in the tag team recently.
Right.
And he was doing so much random stuff. Like, he was letting his team fight 3v4 while he was creeping the whole map. I was like, what is this? He's like, yeah, when I play 4v4, I just want to enjoy. We're on Discord, we're just talking, like, you know, and just having some fun. So.
All right, well, we're going to have some fun with the interview right now. We're sending it off to Mr. Remo Dima, man.
LawLiet, congratulations for that epic win. Guys, was that a good game or what?
Thank you very much. Yeah.
You were one of the 2 big favorites. Now you're in the grand final. Interesting best of 5. First 2 maps, very clearly you were better, and then you take the first 2. But then he comes back, wins the next 2. Did you get nervous at that point? Did you think, oh, I might lose this? Or what did you think?
Yeah, when I won game 1 and 2, I thought easy game like some group stage. I can beat with my one hand, but third game with the MK inbound items and inbound lock, it's weird. And game 4 was I want to try double AOA and Mason trees, but he tried creep, not expert first, 2 items. So I changed my build and it's not working. And I feel, oh my God, I don't like CH and feel like maybe lose.
Okay.
But he tried same as game 1, Taurus. Oh, he gave me free win. Yeah.
A lot of people kept saying that this Tinker tower push, very strong, very scary, but you defend and win every time. What is the secret to beat it?
I don't know why the tactics it works.
You don't know why?
Yeah, it's really easy to defend.
Okay.
Just use AC and just click tower and pre-win.
Okay, fair enough. You're in the grand final now. Who do you would you prefer to face? It's either gonna be Soin or Happy. Who do you want to face?
Maybe this our audience know that answer. Why you ask me?
I want to know.
Have some problem? Why?
No, we would never have problems. We would never have problems.
Yeah, of course, we are very good friends. Yeah.
All right, you would prefer to face Soen. I think that's clear.
Yeah, you know.
And Soen said he needs a miracle to beat Happy. Do you think that's true?
Oak can do anything because Oak is Simba.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well,
Enough?
I do
Your
know.
face is not enough. Yeah.
Yeah, Soen, you talked about him earlier. Apparently he has a lot of bad luck with items. Is that true?
Who? Me?
Soen.
So is better luck?
Yeah, with items.
He's always got imbal luck. When you watch that against Bogey, his Blade Master always very good item. Just right click, then he'll die. Pre-win. What a game.
Okay.
I don't like that style.
All right. LawLiet, amazing as always. What do you want to say to the crowd before your grand final?
Maybe if Happy come to final, he can beat me with one hand. Of course.
All right, we'll see if that comes true. LawLiet, thank you very much. One more time, guys. LawLiet! We got 2 more games left here. We're going to go for the next semifinal after the break here at the Arcadia World Series. Stay tuned, guys. We continue very shortly.
Well, very shortly indeed, because here we are, Carson.
Right now.
So we just saw a very, very interesting Game 5 series between Sock and LawLiet. You know, before the series, after we did our couch segment, I said to Remo, I don't think that Sock will stand a chance. And now look at him, bringing it all the way to Game 5, just, you know, out-strategizing, and LawLiet not being able to adjust in those 2 games, in Games 3 and 4 properly. And in Game 5, it was like almost broke him, right? So it was like super close. He had like the very good positioning, like split the archers from the rest of the army, so the heroes, and you know, set up a tower in between, had a shop in between, but just, you know, wasn't just quite not able to do it there. But I think that was definitely one of the most impressive performances I've seen of Sock in a while.
For sure. Yeah, I think it was a little bit unfortunate. Like, it felt like his 3 losses were really all kind of meme losses in a way. Like, the one, the Sasquatch chasing the Keeper, and then he gets the last hit, pretty much GG at that point. And then LawLiet put, like, Archmage Tinker Tower Rush seems to be a free win for him, and honestly, I'm a little underwhelmed. I've only seen it the couple of times that we've seen it today. Personally, it seems to be more popular every single day, but I don't know. It's a little underwhelming. Maybe it's just LawLiet is that good, but it did feel like a free win. Yeah, it was a very memey best of 5. It was a 3-2 that felt like a 3-0 at times.
Yeah, kind of.
We saw I think we saw every Night Elf unit other than glaive throwers, which is for a good reason. That's why that's their name. I think we saw a Hippogriff as well at one point, so we're pretty close. No Hippo Rider, though. But yeah, definitely LawLiet pulling out every strategy. He's got Mass Archers, he went MGs, he went Bear Dryad, he went Mass Huntresses, he built APs all over the place, plenty of different heroes. It was a fun series, let's say, for a semifinal.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was very entertaining, and also, you know, I think like with the last game being as close as it was, I think even though the series was kind of memey, with the last game being as like close and like hard fought as it was, it still feels like a really like a series that could have gone either way.
For sure.
Which I think is very fitting of a semifinal. So the next semifinal that is up, we have Soen versus Happy, and I think this is like, I think Soen is the player in the tournament and like in the entirety of RARALAND, the one citizen of RARALAND that has like the best chances against the Emperor from Moscow. So what do you expect from the set?
It's going to be tough. I mean, best of 5 versus Happy with Orc. There's plenty of different strategies we've seen from Happy in the past. He's even, I think, done a little bit of Lich Expos, if I'm not entirely incorrect, as I often am. He's been recently doing that a little bit against Orc, so we could see room for some different strategies. But of course, the Death Knight Lich power creeping level 3, kill all the headhunters. For Soen, he has opportunity to play both Blade Master and Farseer, similar to what Hitman was doing against Xlord and Happy yesterday. But Happy's very well prepared. He's very well versed in this matchup. I don't think it's his favorite matchup, but it's certainly one of his stronger matchups for sure. He is the one that's inventing the meta. He is the one that is pushing this meta forward. And of course, it's a very mechanical matchup as well. And he has really good micro, but Soen, on the other hand, has extremely good micro himself. So it's going to be a battle of mechanics.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think at this point, Happy knows the matchup. He knows that it's his weakest matchup. Historically, the players that have been giving him the most trouble are Lin and Focus.
Yep.
So, and Soen somewhat recently as well. So after the following ad break, we'll be back, I think, with the couch segment, and then we go straight into the semifinals. So stay tuned. Go nowhere.